Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. At the 6 o'clock location, we have Machine starting as the pink Zerg. 9 o'clock location, we have Lzgamer as the blue Terran. And hopefully I have figured out all of my audio issues at this stage, so it sounds nice and crisp and clear and lovely for you guys. Gonna adjust something right there. So yeah, hopefully it sounds great. Let me know. Give me feedback in that regard. Preferably not. Read the other comments though, because I know when I've asked for that in the past, I've gotten like 80 of the same comments. They're all like, oh, audio terrible, background too loud, and the 100 of them, and then I get like 14 PMs and 20 more throughout the day that are all the same message. Bad audio, bad audio, bad audio. I'm just like, sigh. Anyway, should be an interesting match here. Machine is a macro-oriented player. This is a macro-oriented map, but he is going up against Lzgamer, who plays very well against macro-oriented Zergs, specifically because he likes opening Reaper. It looks like we are seeing a Reaper opening here. Barracks before Supply Depot, actually Barracks Gas before Supply Depot. Try to get out that Tech Lab and that Reaper as quickly as possible. And yeah, this is kind of one of the 2 or 3 builds that Lzgamer tends to throw out. He tends to be pretty, I don't want to say predictable, but he sticks to his bread and butter when it comes to the versus Zerg matchup. I think he has more creativity in the other matchups, but I think he feels like he's got the versus Zerg thing solved in that regard. And so one thing that this specifically punishes fast expand. It just devastates fast expand. And I think because you've seen so many Reaper openings as of late, you've seen this a lot from Zerg players, which is to get gas quickly. And again, sorry about frame rate issues. It's something with this latest patch, which supposedly is supposed to solve. This is, I can't remember if this is an old replay or not. A lot of my replays was like, oh, I gotta ditch them all, but I realized the frame rate issues were kind of across the board, and so I didn't know what to do with that. One thing that would help with that, graphics card, still begging for it, and now I'm gonna get those comments. They're like, oh god, begging for a graphics card. That's my complaining audience voice again. It's her, exactly like that. You know what? I pretty much do commentaries for free, so and I'm not forcing you. I'm not demanding. I'm not going to quit commentating if you guys don't donate to me, just so you guys know. Heads up. Looks like Lzgamer actually scouting to the north, and maybe he missed that Overlord off the corner from Machine, perhaps not looking for it, perhaps playing a little bit tired, but not in fact seeing it. Looks like we are seeing a Nitro Pack upgrade to make those Reapers even faster. Machine does have that spawning pool built, is also producing a couple Zerglings, also getting his queen out in the field. And again, you see a lot of Zerg players do this just to provide more flexibility. Granted, you end up with a little bit of a slower economy, but it actually doesn't hurt as much as it did in the original StarCraft. In the original StarCraft, you really wanted that fast expansion. If you weren't going fast expansion, it felt like you were just falling behind. But because of that queen, because of the additional larvae that you can produce out of it, and the additional drones you can really produce out of it, it's not as big a factor, really. Looks like that Reaper is out in the field. It's not going to catch the Zerglings that are moving out in the field, so that might be trouble later. And it looks like that SCV checking out the 3 o'clock location, finding nothing, so Lzgamer walking to the base and finding it now. And those Zerglings completely out of position. Looks like if you check the mini-map, they are doing a loop around, and that queen trying to chase it down is going to have to stop once she gets off the creep. Other problem with those Reapers is they just do a lot of damage, and the Reaper not being babysit, and wow, the Zerglings coming around and a nice quick boon there for Machine, able to take out 1 Reaper already with some Zerglings coming on the rebound. Another Reaper out in the field for Lzgamer. He's got to be frustrated. So it looks like a 1 Rax into expansion build. So he really needs to babysit these Reapers as well, because if he does not keep these Reapers it looks like speed being upgraded for Machine, by the way, to help deal against those Reapers with just kind of pinning them in the corner, things like that. He's also getting a Roach Warren out in the field. And again, I almost wonder about speed versus Reaper at large. I think it definitely helps, but if you know your opponent's going speed as well, I almost feel like it's better to get more roaches out or go to lair first. But that's just me. I know a lot of players still prefer to get the Zergling speed just to have the kind of the interim Zerglings, and that queen is taking damage, needs that creep out in the field quickly. That's the other thing, when Reaper's out in the field, you really need to get those creep tumors out rapidly, and it feels like when you have Reapers out there, they just hurt the Zerg economy, period, just knowing that they exist out in the field. So now we have speed upgraded Zerglings, but also speed upgraded Reapers. They need to be very careful jumping up this blind wall, and as soon as that creep hits the corner there, that is the one thing is the Zerglings plus the speed plus the creep and the boost that gives them, that makes these Reapers much less effective, and that's going to force Lzgamer essentially to play a little bit more defensively. He's going to have to produce more units, things like that. I assume he's not going to build, it looks like he is going orbital command. You can see him planting actually a bunker preemptively down in the field, and also grabbing the barracks just so he has the troops before actually planting that command center down on the corner. A little bit worried and trying to micro a little bit against those roaches, but not doing a ton of damage. And really that's the thing, is if you do open this build with Terran, you need to do a lot of damage and you need to slow your opponent's economy down. Machine with an excellent defense has really only lost a single drone throughout this and has just been pumping drones in the meantime. So despite the harassment, has managed to keep a pretty high harvester count considering all the defensive troops you usually have to produce in this sort of build and things like that. Looks like 2 Marines just hanging out in the bunker, some additional barracks along the corner. The Reapers checking out that 3 o'clock location, just kind of scouting things out in the meantime, trying to just staying, keeping a low profile. Surprised that Machine's actually not pushing forward with these zerglings in the meantime to put on a little aggression just to be frustrating on the field. Perhaps doesn't want to lose them to these Reapers in open field. Looks like we are seeing that hatchery upgrade to layer. Okay, now the zerglings are going to take off. So I like seeing them scurry. It just gives me a nice... They just seem happy when they're running like that, doesn't it? SCV very quickly sniped at the Zelnaga watchtower. And in the meantime, it looks like while that was all happening, focusing on that instead of the Reaper absolutely devastating the harvester line there at the natural expansion. It looks like several drones were, well, actually just a couple drones killed in that exchange, so I didn't miss too much, but the Reapers did get racked over. So hurting a little bit, only 1 left, and that is again gonna hurt Lzgamer in his defense a little bit. Still some zerglings testing the front door, but then backing off. I actually think he could have done a run up the ramp there, maybe actually gone past, but he didn't know it was up here, so didn't want to risk losing the zerglings. Might have been worth the scouting information, but looks like we have the combat shield upgrade, concussive shells, as well as the stim pack for Lzgamer, and thus far it looks like it is going to be a longer economic sort of game. Looks like an extractor being added on 4 machines so he can get a couple more tech, and he is transitioning into spire, and this tends to be one of his more preferred builds, particularly against this Reaper opening, is to try to show roaches and not really give an indication to his opponent right here what he's doing, pray and kind of hope that his opponent is doing precisely this, over-committing on the Marauders, and then you push in essentially with a follow-up with Mutalisks, and the Mutalisks pin your opponent into the back of their base while you take the rest of the map. Looks like Lzgamer is transitioning into more or less getting the full set here, getting his starport, getting his factories, probably going to switch the starport to the reactor to get a couple medevacs out. Might loop in a couple siege tanks here and there. He's actually pumping. He's actually planning on going some pretty heavy tech here in the near future because he is pumping out of 4 gas right now, which means he has a lot of gas to spare. In fact, I'll check the income tab. You can see he currently has the double the gas of Machine. Not really hurting. That's not really hurting Machine at this point. But looks like now Machine going to slip in under the cover there, and let's see if he can pick off the mule. In particular, is going to be able to get the mule. And that is huge. That devastates Lzgamer's economy. You can see how, aside from just the SCVs pulling off the line, they will be down more or less 200, 300, and with just that little attack, feeling comfortable to take this hatchery at that bottom corner and have the couple mules to follow, and he's feeling very comfortable. Whenever a Zerg player feels comfortable, he just starts pumping harvesters. Right now he's taking a huge economic lead by pumping all those harvesters. Looks like he's getting Flyer Carapace 1, so definitely thinking about preserving his Mutalisks over the long run. Looks like he's also getting the speed upgrade for Roach, so he's going to try to ride Roach Muta perhaps into late game Broodlord and try to abuse these close positions. But now Lzgamer is starting to move out. Looks like this has been scouted. Machine might have been caught just kind of in a bad position, because that is well, actually I take it back. Lzgamer only has 4 Marines here and a couple medevacs. If he doesn't support this with some air, those Mutalisks that could be produced shortly, looks like 4 or 5, and it's going to be close. Could do a lot of damage, but the thing is there's so many Marauders here, they might just lift up, and it looks like he is thinking about maybe doing an elevator here. But they should be able to just walk forward and do a ton of damage. But Machine's response is just to place a ton of spine crawlers to buy time. There's a stim pack, and this is going to be a huge engagement. Lzgamer having to back off just because of the huge amount of spine crawlers that Machine placed. And I like that from Machine. Sacrificial there. Knew if he just bought himself some time, he would be okay against this attack. Now pressing forward against the medevacs. 1 medevac already down. Mutalisks just hunting that second medevac. Turrets trying to be planted. Lzgamer completely caught by surprise and just doesn't have any